Okay guys, just finished uploading an Instagram post. Just check out my Instagram. Just posted a new photo. Hopefully you enjoy it. Just check it out. Let's get today's tutorial video started. What's going on, guys? Max here and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about stepping up your Instagram game, destroying that Instagram game. Just kill it. Just kill that Instagram game. Okay guys, so let's just dive straight into today's video. Today we're going to be talking about Instagram, stepping up your Instagram game, creating stunning photos, putting them together to make an incredible account that showcases your art and pretty much just tells all of those business people that you're the best and that hire me right now. But in all seriousness, today we're going to be talking about Instagram, stepping that Instagram game up, if I could even speak. I'm so excited to talk about this. By far one of my favorite topics is Instagram. I've been doing Instagram for a good amount of time now. Consistent posts. I love Instagram. Just posted a new photo. Definitely check that out. I love Instagram. So much fun, so much creative work, and I've actually gotten a job because of Instagram. So let's just dive straight into it. So pretty much before we actually dive straight into the video, like I've said already 30 times today, we got to talk about pretty much the whole point of Instagram, because a lot of people might be kind of confused. Like, okay, I know that Instagram exists, people post photos on Instagram, but what's the point of it? What's kind of like the whole point of posting your stuff to the Instagram, and kind of why do you post to Instagram? And pretty much the whole point of posting to your Instagram is Instagram essentially now in today, like in 2018, is pretty much your digital portfolio. Because back in the day, maybe 10-15 years ago, to showcase your photos, you would legit have to print it out, create like a book or a magazine, and show it to other places like businesses, other photographers, people, clients. That's the way they saw your work, was physical books, physical copies of your photos. But now everything's digital, everything's online, and essentially Instagram is your digital portfolio. You want your best work, the best work that you have, the photos that you enjoy taking, the photos that you love taking, passion for those photos are also on your Instagram account. So don't take photos of a coffee mug if you love taking landscapes. Make sure that the photos that you enjoy taking are on your Instagram. So pretty much let's actually quickly talk about the Instagram grid before we continue on anything else, because the Instagram grid is quite important to actually know, because the Instagram grid is essentially the full grid with every single photo that you've posted, full list of photos. So the thing is, that is one of the things that I didn't pay attention at the start. What I did was I just try to make awesome photos and I just posted them. Just posting amazing photos, doing it disorganized ways is not really a great way to put it, because you might have amazing photos on there, but if they don't look appealing in the right order, if you have a landscape then a coffee mug and this, it just doesn't look good. It looks disorganized, it looks unprofessional, and sometimes even the colors and the looks just don't fit well, and it screams unprofessionalism, and it's just sometimes it can discourage somebody from even wanting to click on the photo that might even look amazing. The photo might be awesome, but if your Instagram grid is disorganized and disgusting, nobody's ever going to click on the photo. So it's important to keep the Instagram IG grid always on point. So we're going to talk about the Instagram grid a little bit down the line, some more things you got to keep in mind, some tips. We'll talk a little bit about that later in the video. But essentially, like we said earlier, Instagram is your digital portfolio. It's important to keep in mind that this is where your art goes. You got to remember, this is your digital representation of who you are, what kind of photos you take, what you're sort of about, what you're here to do. The photos you take, the art, everything you love doing is on this account. So you gotta treat it like it's your life, like it's your business. You gotta treat it the best you possibly can, because you don't want somebody to click on your account and just instantly leave because they don't think your account is good. They don't think you're a good photographer. So making sure that your photos are consistent, the style is consistent, the look is consistent, the amount of time, like the consistency of the post, the way the Instagram grid looks together, how do the photos look together, all of that is important to represent who you are as a photographer, and it's important to get that done to get anywhere near having business. Because for those photographers that want to get somewhere big, that want to, if your dream is to take photos for brands and businesses, professional businesses, the only way you'll ever get anywhere near doing that is by having an incredible Instagram account, because businesses and other places always look on Instagram for new photographers. So if you enjoy stuff like product photography, portraits, the place people check for is Instagram. So with that out of the way, let's just jump straight into the tips and things you gotta remember or understand to make incredible Instagram photos and just to have an amazing account that hopefully will bring you business and hopefully will create amazing memories and create a stunning portfolio. So let's jump straight into it. The first thing that you actually gotta keep in mind when creating an Instagram account, building up that Instagram account, is deciding on what kind of photos you're going to be making. It's important to really narrow it down to the type of styles you're doing. You don't want to just automobile, landscape, portraits, photos of my dog. You don't want to just mix it up. I did it before. Sometimes it could look cool, but if you're trying to be professional and you want your account to bring you business and you want people to take your account seriously and take you seriously as a photographer, as a professional one, you got to make sure that you narrow it down to the type of styles of photography you like. So personally, my account's about fashion portraits and about landscape, nature shots, and architecture. Those are the types of landscapes I do. Those are the types of portraits I do. I narrowed it down to just that, so if somebody goes on my account, they know exactly what kind of photos I take, and they don't have to kind of like just think about, okay, this guy just has a ton of photos on his account that are just random. I don't know what kind of photographer he is. If you go on my account, you know exactly the type of photos I take. Even from the first 2 sentences that you read on my bio, you know what kind of photographer I am, what I'm pretty much about, the whole thing. And if you look through my account, you can tell exactly the type of colors I'm into, the type of style that I'm into, the types of photos I love taking, and you can see how all the photos look great together because I curate my photos. I spend a lot of time deciding on how I want my photos to look together. So I really enjoy doing that. Any photographer that goes onto my account or any business that goes into my account, they know exactly what kind of photos I take. They know exactly what kind of style and what to expect if they hire me. And that's what you want to make sure that you do as well with your account. So the first thing you got to do is decide what kind of photos you do. Try to narrow it down to even if you can narrow it down to as small as one style of photos, it's going to be better. Problem is, obviously, you're kind of bringing yourself to one style of photography, and eventually it will get boring, and eventually you might start not enjoying it. But the more narrow you get it, the better, because if you just have random stuff on your account, different types of photos, it doesn't look professional, and business people don't enjoy that. So if you're just doing photography for fun, Instagram, do whatever you want. But if you want it for business, you want to be able to narrow it down to as little type of shots as possible. For me, it's just landscapes and portraits, but I'll never put it onto my Instagram because it just doesn't make sense. So decide on what kind of photos you're going to be putting and curate them to the way you want your account to play out and to look like. So that out of the way, let's jump into the look and sort of the style of your photos. And this is another really important one. The way you're going to be stylizing your photo is so key and so important. You gotta make sure that you choose and figure out the kind of style and feel that you want your photos to be. And obviously, you don't have to be stuck in this. You can decide on one color for now, but eventually change the way it looks after. And we'll talk in a second exactly how you want the change to look like. But essentially, the first step that you want to do after deciding on what kind of photos you're doing is figuring out the type of editing style, how you're going to be editing your photos, because you don't want every photo to be completely different. You don't want your landscape shot from this landscape to be so different that it looks like 2 different photographers took the photo and posted it on one account. You don't want that. You want to make sure that the edits are very similar, obviously not exact. The colors might be different from this and this, but the actual edit is quite similar. Maybe you love to deepen the blacks, add a lot of contrast, sharpen your images. That's what I love doing with my photos. So every photo that I have on my account is sharpened a ton, has a ton of contrast, a ton of blacks, really high highlights on them, making sure that the photos, all of them, are very consistent with the look and feel of them. So when you're on my account, even though I have portraits and landscapes and all of that and nature shots and architecture, even with all of these different types of photos that I love taking, you still feel like everything is one seamless process and is all taken by one photographer, because it's very, very organized and thought through when it comes to the way I upload them, but also the way I edit the photos. I also make sure that each photo is edited properly, similar edits, and the thing that I do is I use the same preset on every single photo. And the thing is, there are different types of presets. This preset that I'm talking about is actually my own preset. I'll make it a sellable preset in the future. I'm hoping this summer maybe make it a sellable preset, $5-10 you can buy, so you can use my preset on your photos too. It's not 100% done yet. It's like halfway done. It's like a half preset. It kind of gives you that sort of quick little boost. It gives like the sharpen, the little details that I like in my photo. photos to make them look the same way that they do on my account. Just a little boost, but those extra details like the colors and the other contrasts and the fade and all of that stuff I add on my own afterwards to make it look better. But the initial look, the initial feel of the photo is already in the photo with my preset, and that's why all my photos look great. So I recommend choosing a preset that can make your photos look great. And you don't have to use one preset. Presets are not the only way that you can make your photos look seamless. It's just the style of your photo itself. If you only put landscapes on your account and all of your landscapes are desaturated and high contrast, they can be as crazy looking or as bright or as dark or as moody, but the fact that they're all landscapes and the fact that they all have that nice contrasty sharp look, it gives that consistency, that sense of consistency, that sense of establishment that you want in your photos. So making sure that your color grading, your look is consistent and looks the same throughout all your photos. They don't have to be exactly the same, but they should be somewhat similar, just so when somebody looks at your account, they can be like, okay, this is kind of the style that he's into, this is the look that he's into, and that's what his account, and that's the kind of look that he loves. But now you're probably asking, okay, I've been using this look for a little bit of time, or what if I want to change my look? Best way that I could describe changing your look is to completely change your look. Don't just change your look for 1 or 2 photos and then go back to the old one. That just seems foolish. It's not going to look good. It's going to look disgusting. So if you're switching to a new look, if you want to change your color grade from this bright saturated look to a desaturated moody look, instead of changing it for 1 or 2 photos, why don't you just go for kind of like the streak? Go for the next 9, 12 uploads. You're going to do this nice, awesome, moody look, because then it's going to look intentional. It's going to look so much better that like the first 9 photos are moody and then the rest of the photos are a little bit different. It's going to look much more established and much more professional than just bright, saturated, desaturated, moody, completely different look. And just imagine mixing that with having random different photos of like coffee mugs, dogs, landscapes, photo of your computer, like just these, if you combine that all together and just have weird thumbnails, weird pictures on all of your, on your Instagram, it's just gonna look disorganized and it's just gonna give a sense of disorganization, and you don't want that. So making sure that your photos are nice and consistent with color is just as important as making sure that the photos are consistent with the actual type of photography you're doing. So making sure that you stick to the style, make sure you stick to the look that you're usually used to, so using the same similar look to your photos to make sure that it gives that sense of establishment that, okay, this is the type of look he likes, here's the type of photography that he enjoys doing, I can get into this. And if I call this guy, I know that if I ask him to do a landscape shot like that, I know that he can deliver that landscape shot. He can make that landscape shot look amazing because he's been doing it over and over again. His whole account is dedicated to landscapes with that look, and I know that if I ask him to create a landscape like this, I know that he's going to be able to deliver what I'm asking him to do. And that's what the sense of being able to continue a consistent look on your Instagram gives to the client or to other companies that look through your account. And the last thing is curating your photos, choosing what kind of photos you're going to be uploading, making sure the photos that you upload on your account, each photo is chosen and curated properly. This is one of the things that people always overlook, and that's the way you post your photos. I'm going to be making a whole video on settings and things you should do when posting. So exporting your photos, how to edit your Instagram photos, that's coming up. Also things you should do to also improve the engagement on your photos, things you should do to bring up that engagement on your photo to get the most out of it, as well as I'm going to be talking about a lot more about Instagram. But essentially right now we're just talking about things you need to just start doing and get your Instagram up and running and to make your Instagram so much better. And one of the things is curating your photos. You can have everything I just listed off, a consistent upload schedule, a consistent feel, just landscapes and just portraits. You can have a consistent color. Everything is consistent color. Everything looks the same, like not exactly the same, but you have a sense of establishment, the same look between every photo. But if each photo is just placed in weird ways, maybe you have 5 shots of portraits and then 10 shots of buildings in a row, that's gonna look nasty. You want to make sure that you space them out. Maybe do 2 shots of buildings, a shot of portraits, a shot of maybe the guy's shoes, maybe a shot of this building, a shot inside a coffee shop. Make sure that you space out the photos really nice to give that nice look. Curating your shots, it's a really weird way of putting it. Curating your shots, it's like, what are we making coffee here? It sounds weird, but kind of the best way of describing it. Kind of just making sure that every photo that you post looks and works the best in that location, because the way your photo is gonna look is really key. Because you might have amazing photos, but if they look weird together in order, if they're really disgusting, they're in a really weird order, they're placed in a really weird order on the Instagram grid, it's just gonna give another sense of disorganization. And even though they're awesome photos, people are gonna immediately click off because they're gonna be like, okay, this guy, he has great photos, but it's just so disorganized and I just can't really get into the look of his photos. And and that's kind of one of the things that people really do miss when they make these Instagram photos. When they start doing their Instagram accounts, this is one of the things that people always miss and always disregard. And that's pretty much it for the Instagram thing. Hopefully you guys learned something new today. Hopefully you kind of now understand how to start crushing that Instagram game. It's so simple. It doesn't even take that much work. You're just gonna be really committed, especially if you're not doing stuff like YouTube or you don't have school. And it's important that you guys are gonna be committed. This light just died on me, so I guess we're just gonna end off the video without a light, but whatever, I guess. So pretty much like I was saying, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. Hopefully you learned how to step up that Instagram game, how you guys can start creating amazing photos, create an amazing account that will make a difference and that will bring you so far in your career in photography. And hopefully people are just gonna enjoy your art. Hopefully you can look at your own work and be like, okay, I love this looks amazing. And that's just the whole goal and the whole purpose of making photography. So remember, your digital portfolio should be amazing. So decide on what kind of photography you want to do. Make sure it's the type of photography you enjoy doing. Decide on a look, on a feel, decide on an upload schedule, and also make sure you curate and figure out the shots. Make sure you post the shots in proper order. Make sure that each photo that you post looks great next to each other. And I guess that's pretty much it for me today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, be sure to click the like button, be sure to subscribe, check out my Instagram down in the description. But anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully you enjoyed today's videos. Quite a mess. This light died, this light turned off. Jeez, I'm a little bit mad at that now. Oh, God, whatever. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.